Hi, this is Molly with Molly Q Creates and scrapandtime.com. Today I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to create a journal card in Cricut Design Space. These journal cards are great for when you want to add your own journaling to a layout, but you don't have a journal card in the correct size for the layout that you're working on, or you don't have one in the right paper line that matches your layout. So I'm going to show you how you can create one from scratch. We're going to create a basic one, and I'm going to show you how you can adjust it to make two different variations of it. There is a written out tutorial. I'll put a link at the bottom of this video where you can sign up for the email list for mollyqcreates.com. And once you're on the email list, you can access the free resource library and download the tutorial. Don't worry, I respect your privacy. I'm not going to sell my email list or any of your information, and you can also unsubscribe at any time. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start with a blank canvas. Then let's go to the shape tool and select a square. Now once you have the square, I'm going to change the color to light gray. So up here under operation, click on the dark gray, and I'm just going to change it to light gray. It just makes it easier to see what I'm putting on it, the lines. So now select the rectangle, and we need to unlock it because we're going to make this as a 3x4. Now you can create these journal cards in any size that you need. You'll just have to adjust the dimensions to fit the size that you need. There are two ways to unlock this, and by unlocking it, right now with it locked, whenever we resize it, it's going to stay as a square, but we want it to be a rectangle. So you could click on this lock, or up here there's another lock in the size tool on the top menu. So click the lock, now it's unlocked, and let's change the size to 3x4. Okay, so now that we have it the right size, we need to add lines to it. And now I'm just going to say that I'm not concerned about the placement of the lines on it as so much as to get the right number of lines that we need. So I'm going back to the shape. Now this says score line, but we're going to select that and we're going to change it to a pen line. So when the line comes up, it's vertical. We need it to be horizontal. So you can change it here. You can also go up here to rotate and put in 90. Hit enter. Now you have your horizontal line. But up here under operation, it still says score. We don't want it to score. We want a pen line. We're going to draw that on. And that changes this square to black. You can change it to any color. We're going to keep it black for the sample. Now we have our score line, or I shouldn't say it's not the score line, now it's the pen line. But now it's not the correct size. It's too big, too wide for the card. So let's go over here to size, and under the height, the H, let's change that to 2.75. Okay, and now when we drag that on the card, you can see there's a little bit of margin on each side, so that's about perfect. So just for ease of working with it, let's keep it off of the card for right now. Now we need to determine how many we want. So use this grid to kind of determine what size, how far apart you want the lines. I'm going to say we want about 1 inch on the top so we can have a bigger title on it, and do a line about every 1/2 inch. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The bottom one's not going to be at the bottom exactly, so they're not going to be exactly 1/2 inch apart, but that's okay. So now with the line selected, let's select duplicate until we have 7 lines. Okay, so now we have our 7 lines. Let's make sure the rectangle is off to the side. But now let's line up the top line with where we want the top line to be. And we said we wanted about 1 inch up, or 1 inch from the top. And the bottom line. We don't have to worry about all the middle lines, just the top and the bottom. Bottom line, I want close to the bottom, but not quite at the bottom. So right about there. Now we need to select all of the lines. There's 2 ways of highlighting all of them. The easiest way is to, with your mouse, click and drag. And you don't want the rectangle, you just want the lines. So now you see that they're all selected. The other way to do it is to click on one line hold down the Shift key and select all the other lines. Now you can see that they're all selected. Okay, so now we're going to go to up here in the top menu bar to align. Use this drop down arrow, align left. One more time, go to align. Now we want to go to the bottom to distribute. We want to distribute them horizontally. Whoops, I take that back. Distribute vertically. We want them distributed vertically, not horizontally. Sorry about that. But now you can see that they are evenly spaced between the top and the bottom. Okay, so now that we have the lines, they're all selected, let's group them. So over here in the layers panel, select group. So what that does is now wherever you select on the lines, they're together. Okay, so now let's move them over the rectangle. Excuse me, one more thing I want to show you is if you move them over and you don't see them, say you move them over and all you see is your rectangle, select the rectangle and up here where it says arrange, click on arrange, send to back. Now your lines are on top. Okay, so now let's place the lines. We don't have to worry about how they are horizontally, but let's make sure that the top one is placed about where we want it and the bottom one. So now we can center it on the card by selecting everything. Again, go to align, center horizontally. So now all of your lines are centered on your card. One more time, select everything. Down here at the bottom of the layers panel, you see the little paper clip and it says attach. We want to attach it. So now we have the lines that are going to draw on our card and the card is going to be cut out. So there you have the first of the cards. That is your basic, there's your basic journaling card. I said that there was 2 variations that I was going to show you. So let's select everything and duplicate it. Let's just go ahead and duplicate it so we have 3 of them. Okay, so now what if we just want a smaller journal card and we want to mat it in the coordinating paper? So with everything selected, we can go up here to size and we can do it 2.5 by 3.5 and cuts. It's going to be smaller, but you can cut a 3x4 piece of pattern paper and put that on the center, and there you have a journaling card that matches your paper. Okay, for the last sample, let's put a little line art in here. So let's go to images, and let's do, since summer's coming up, let's do a flip-flop. So type in flip-flop, and now based on everybody's what your subscription is to the access will based on whether or not the designs are included, whether they're free or whether there's a charge. So I'm not going to say that the one that I pick out you may be able to get based on your subscription. So I'm going to pick one that's a line art. So I'm going to pick this one and let's insert it into the image. Okay, so let's do this one over here. Now it's way too big, so let's resize it. And I just want little flip-flops down in the corner. And I want to angle them a little bit. I'm also going to change the color. So the other thing up here, notice under operation, it says cut. Let's change that to pen. And then let's change the color of these flip-flops. Let's do raspberry. Again, the color that you pick out, it doesn't matter whether or not you have the pen that matches it. It just signifies to change the pen and put in the color that you want. Now we do have one issue with this, and that is that we have lines going through it. So let's take the card. Let's select the lines. Okay, so to adjust the lines on this, we need to detach it first. So down here where it was a paper clip, now it's a broken paper clip. Now when we highlight everything, it's still, nope, it's not grouped together. So let's grab, but the lines are grouped together. You can see over here in the panel where ungroup is highlighted, so let's ungroup the lines. let's make one line shorter. And up here, now you can drag it. Lines are a little bit harder to grab, so let's go up here and let's do 1.5. And when you do that, they're going to jump around. But let's get that in the approximate place, put our flip-flops on, and now you see how they're hid behind. So let's go to Arrange, Move to Front. Now let's grab our line, and that line is just a little bit too big. So let's change that to 1.4 and see if that's better. I'm going to say I'm going to make the flip-flops just slightly smaller. Okay, so now I'm just going to change the other 3 lines to 1.4. And change that last one to 1.4. Now again, I'm going to move the gray card out of the way. Now I don't want to select the flip-flops, but I have the top and the bottom line where I want them to be. So let's just go through those couple steps again. You go to Align left, and then Distribute vertically. So now we have our lines back in place. Before I do that, I'm going to group the lines together. Now move the card on top, get it positioned the top and the bottom about where I want it. Select everything, and we can do Align Center horizontally. And now we can bring the flip-flops in. Now what we need to do is select everything and attach. So now when you make this with the Cricut, this has 2 different line colors for this one. So you're going to watch the Cricut for when it pauses, and it will prompt you to change from the black to the pink. So that is the only difference between this and these other cards, is that you will have to change a pen if you do multiple colors on your card. But that is how you create 3 different journal cards in Cricut Design Space. There are the 3 finished cards. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you'd like the step-by-step instructions, there's a link below to sign up for my email list at mollyqcreates.com. I send out an email once a week, and on the email it's just a brief what's new on the blog, some new products at scrapandtime.com. You can always unsubscribe at any time, but as part of signing up for the newsletter, you do get access to the resource library on mollyqcreates.com, and there you will find this tutorial along with several other designs and tutorials that you're welcome to download and use for your own personal use. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know if you have any comments. Thank you.